already talked about what it took me to get out of the cooked food rut. I also talked about some of the causes that I believe got me to go off of my raw vegan food diet. And now I'd like to discuss what actually got me back onto my raw vegan food diet. So I talked about this a little bit in part one about affirming that I am raw vegan and keeping that at the forefront of my meditation and also of my identity, of myself, of who I am actually. And that will help my mind steer my body in the way that I want it to go, which is eating raw vegan. But there are some physical consequences, I should say, some physical results that actually happened, which made me really put the cookies down, so to speak. One of them was old ailments started to basically rev up, seemingly out of nowhere. I had like a little bit of heel stiffness, different little things, but not so little and not so pleasurable, as far as a stuffy nose. I had a chest cough, which is horrible. Yeah, not fun. It's not like it was deadly. It's just, for me, it's as if it's deadly because it's just not my high flying vibe that I like. So hearing that made me know there's either some allergies or some type of adverse reaction to this stuff. And I do not believe it is detox, just in case anybody wondered that. Also, my stomach felt very full, and it's interesting because that was one of the reasons why I actually believed that I wanted to eat cooked food, is because I wanted to feel fuller. I guess in my mind, I felt like all the watery vegetables and fruits were kind of just going through my system so easily. I kind of romanticized the cooked food feeling, but when I actually had the cooked food for a few days, I realized it tastes great going in, but coming out, it is way slower, and that is not a fun thing for me at all. And I was not used to it, and at one point I ate something, I think it was potatoes, and I felt like I couldn't even move until everything digested. And I remember feeling like that a while ago, not necessarily Thanksgiving, but it was kind of like a normal thing when I ate cooked food, to just feel really impacted. It just felt like there was no movement. There wasn't a lot of water, not a lot of moisture helping things move through, and not a great feeling at all. I can't emphasize that enough. There were other things like aches, a lot of things where there's the reawakening of old pains and old inflammation. And I wanted to say, if you don't hear anything from the series or you don't watch anything, just know that the raw vegan food diet definitively is one of the best inflammation-free diets you could ever go on. It's like the opposite of pain in your body. It seems damn near impossible for you to be inflamed and to be on a, caveat, a low-fat raw vegan diet at the very least. I'm not sure about high fats. It's not going to make you feel the best. It is a heavy feeling in the body if that's not something that you want. But at least like the watery fruits, the juicy fruits, the grapes, the watermelons, the juices, things like that, it makes you feel really high. And so the juicy fruits are golden, but then once you get into the heavier fat, again, it is really hard to kind of feel that high flying vibe when you're on so many heavy fats. And it does feel like it sparks inflammation in the body. I don't know why. I wish it wasn't. Sorry to disappoint, but yeah, that is my testimony. Basically, an inflammation-free diet is my goal. It's one of my goals for actually eating or being raw vegan, is to continue to maintain an inflammation-free body. And that's enough. Isn't pain the motivation for a lot of reasons why we either do things or stop doing things? So yeah, the discomfort in my body, that was enough for me to just say bye-bye to these certain practices. And I will share one last thing with you, something that also may throw a curveball into your diet may be the fact that you have memories from a time where you thought, oh yeah, well, a Philly cheesesteak, that was my go-to. You know, it's so easy for me to do. But specifically for people that have already been eating somewhat light, somewhat mostly fruit-based and all vegetable-based, and light fats, it is not going to feel the same as it did a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years. I'm not trying to curse you, but you will feel it. I feel it. You might not feel it the one day, you might not feel it the second day, but you will feel it. It's like a creep attack. And I don't know where the food goes or how it affects the body, but it will just wreak havoc. And these are specifically for the people that went raw vegan for health. They know what I'm talking about. These ways of eating, they can bring a lot of emotional comfort, but that can be the curveball. And you have in your mind like, oh yeah, this was my favorite. But you will get a rude awakening if you really try to incorporate some of that old way of eating, which I got a rude awakening. And then you have to decide, almost feels like you're starting over again. Like you're looking at a turkey leg and then you're looking at an apple and you're like, what the heck? What do I choose? Or you're looking at a bagel. Let's just stick with the cooked vegan. And then you're looking at a peach and you think, what should I choose? You know? And so for me, it was a lot of those symptoms that I talked about. It was also itchy throat. It also disrupted my sleep and my cycle. I haven't reached that yet to understand how that would impact that. But I've been there before, and I know that it even impacts my feeling state and my emotional state and mental state on my cycle. It's just all around for me. It's not a good deal, and these things were just enough to get me back on track. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you have, and if you think that this video will help someone else, please like, please share, please leave a comment. And thanks for looking into the raw vegan diet, and I'm glad that you guys want to take care of yourselves and you guys are listening to my testimony and see if any of this information can fit in to your journey as well, to help you on your journey. So, and thank you. Goodbye.